What's up, everybody? Today's episode is going to be quite an interesting one, especially if you're trying to kick the habit. You'll find out what that habit is in just a bit. Let's go. 4 o'clock in the afternoon while we're recording this episode. It's about to rain. Cases about to go down.
Is it really gonna rain?
I have no idea, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel. That we've been stuck at home for quite a while now. I can't wait for the day that we actually go back and give each other a hug non-awkwardly.
No hugs, please. No, sorry. Social distancing.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
hello.
good job. I like to say good. Oh, sorry, wrong sound effect. Good job, Malaysia. Oh, sorry, wrong sound effect.
Hey, hello. Why all your sound effect,
Good job, Malaysia. We're going towards recovery. But
slowly.
Before we bring in our guest today, which I think is going to be quite an interesting conversation. I noticed you vape, right? So,
Don't tell
okay.
my mom.
Well, too late.
Oops.
Yeah. I will personally send your link, this link of the show to your mom.
Oh no. Okay. I think next
you
week
have many things to be proud of your son. I noticed
this is not one of them.
Not gonna lie, I used to do it too. But I think like back then when everybody got into the whole back then it was sort of like a fad or a trend. Everybody was saying that, hey, if you're a smoker, there is a way for you to kind of kick the habit with vaping. But from then until now, it has evolved to something completely different because back then people used to carry like bricks around and inhale it.
It's huge, and then they carry all the big droplet, like the juice like a whole vial of juice and everything.
There's a whole level of modding this and modding that.
Yeah.
But today, you carry something as small as a pen and, you take it out from your pocket. It's like, hey, what's up? I'm James Bond.
Right.
But no, that's... But today, we have a very special guest because it's actually a very a curious conversation that I would love to talk about. We got the president... we got the president, everybody. I would like... Okay, watch. So see how I'm selling it or not. We got the president, ladies and gentlemen, of the Vape Consumers Association of Malaysia. For short, it's VCAM. And very, very, very happy to have him on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big warm welcome to Tunku Azlauddin. Hi!
Hello. Hi, Jin. Hi, Ryan.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
How's it been... First question, how's it been stuck at home for the past 2 years? I bet you love it.
I'm just dying to get out of this country right now, so, hope we can travel soon.
Yeah. Well, okay, for the benefit of our listeners who are tuning in today, they kind of got the brief introduction of it. Could you please, introduce yourselves and tell our listeners what it is you do?
Oh, okay. I'm the president of the Vape Consumer Association Malaysia. Basically, we are an association that is trying to protect the rights of the consumers in the vaping community. And I find there are a lot of other associations, but they don't really represent the consumers. It's more on the supplier side and the manufacturing side. So I think we're probably the first one to represent the consumers, basically.
Oh, okay. So vaping was a thing. I'm not sure how many years ago, but maybe 5? Was it 5? Or maybe
More.
just 6?
Dah lama dah. I think
10
we
plus,
2011, if I'm not mistaken, when it
2011.
started coming in Malaysia. Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember when I first started YouTube. Wow, vaping was the in thing.
Yeah.
I remember
That's the one you say, the big brick one. And
Yeah.
And then my friend could buy the cotton wool and then put inside there.
I know. It's
everything.
like, so technical, and then you have to put the cotton
then
inside,
potong,
and then don't over put too much. Yeah. It was a hassle. It was a hassle.
Cotton burn, need to change cotton.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things. There were even stories where I remember there was this one guy who purely just got into making vape juices,
Yes.
and the next thing you know, he was buying a R34. It's like buy my juice. I have an R34. It's good.
Yeah. Correct.
But
Malaysia is one. I believe is the second largest producers of juice. After America.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Oh yes. I
Yes.
heard about this. I heard
No
about
wonder we
this.
got so many nice selection here.
It's one of the reasons why I joined. I kind of got into the industry because I wanted to promote it, this kind of thing.
Okay.
Because like, come on, we're the number 2 in the world, but why are
Yeah.
we like pushing this kind of development to the world? You know?
I feel that like, you know, this industry has gotten so big. Even
Yes.
the big players from the cigarette companies are trying to jump
Yes.
into it.
Correct.
But obviously they do it in a very hush kind of way.
Yep.
They rebrand themselves to be non-associated with cigarettes and tobacco. Tobacco, however you name it. But I think like go back to like 10 almost 10 years ago when we heard about vaping.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be, because I did vape before. Man, I was the
Okay.
guy who basically walked around with the damn vapor shop, you know, with like flavors and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think like initially when it first started, a lot of people were saying that, hey, don't do shisha because shisha has got charcoal and it's really
Yeah.
unhealthy. If you want to quit cigarette, this is an alternative for you to kick the habit because tobacco is really bad for your lungs.
Yep, absolutely.
So is that the backstory of how you know the vaping industry came into fruition?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is because of course, like cigarettes, you're smoking tar, and then you're getting carbon monoxide inside your lungs and things like that. Whereas vaping, you're just inhaling from liquid, which is converted to vapor. So I don't want to say it's safe, but it's safer than cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Lesser
I mean,
of two evils,
Yes, something like that. Yeah, if you want to put it in that perspective, yeah.
yeah, and
Correct.
like okay, I've had a lot of friends who have quit smoking through vaping. And
Okay.
okay, like it's a success story lah. They tell me like, oh, they used to smoke like 2 packs a day, reds,
Yes.
you know, and then like
Yeah.
they are really
Ooh.
really stressed out. And after that,
Yeah.
they go to vaping, and then they say,
Yeah.
hey, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
They're still vaping today, but you know, it has transitioned from like really really big fat battery looking mods,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
pipes
correct.
into really
Yeah.
really minimalist kind of thing. So how has it evolved from 2012 until
I've
2021?
got a few things. Okay, so obviously, if you want to talk about cigarettes, of course, you know what cigarettes are like, right?
Yep.
So vaping, it started off with something like this, right?
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you put the liquid and things like that. So now it's kind of transformed to something else with where they call it the pod system.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically now you have something like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you get this is called a pod, and then you just put it in. It's got liquid in it.
Yeah.
This got no nicotine, by the way. So just letting you know that. So you just stick it in and then you smoke it.
Yeah, so like, for the benefit of those who are listening on the podcast, we are,
Yeah.
whoa, look at that.
Question: do all pods not have nicotine, or is it just that
Okay.
specific one you're using?
I think in Malaysia, the government just I think it was earlier this year they allowed no nicotine inside the pod lah, basically.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so you're allowed to sell no nicotine pods in Malaysia
So previously
right now.
they were not allowed to sell. Like if you're selling pod, you have to sell nicotine.
Well,
previously.
of course, for smokers, of course, they need the nicotine, right?
Yeah,
to replace it. But I think Malaysia's going to the right direction now, where they are providing. They're saying no nicotine first. You see,
okay.
so hopefully we can push for nicotine later on. You know what I mean? It's all in the process right now. So you know,
Yeah.
hopefully things go well for the industry.
Okay, but like, you know, the evolvement of, okay, they used to be called, even before vaping was a big thing in the world, there was this thing called e-cigarettes, right?
E-cigarettes,
Okay.
E-cigarettes pretty much the same thing, you know. I mean, but they've also developed something called the IQOS, which
Yes.
is more like
Yeah.
this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a heat and burn basically. So instead of burning it, you're heating it.
Oh, I
So
see.
But this one
lesser
has-
toxins coming in. So
But it has actual tobacco inside.
yes,
right,
it's
this
got
one?
tobacco
Yeah.
inside, but it's
Yeah.
a bit safer than normal cigarettes, lah. You know.
One step below.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
But of course, you know, I mean, like, I would like to highlight to our listeners who are listening
Yeah.
today, we're not gonna encourage, if you don't smoke, you know,
Exactly.
we're not gonna encourage you to pick up vaping.
Correct.
I mean, like, I've always thought that vaping was some sort of like a, hey, well, last time, before there was vaping, a lot of people who want to quit smoking, they'll go to the doctor and they ask for a nicotine patch, right?
Yes, correct,
And then,
correct.
and then after a while, once they are okay with it, they take out the nicotine patch and then, yes, they quit smoking. So I think like vaping is more sort of like that, kind of like one step forward in order for you to kind of kick the more evil habit, and then then hopefully not be able to rely on any toxins anymore in the future in order to keep yourself going. But with that being said, there are a lot of like misconceptions about vaping. Like for me, like a person vapes, immediately somebody's like, hey, if you're trying to say that this is trying to help you quit smoking, why do you vape? It's the same thing. You're inhaling things into your lungs. So what's your take on that?
Well, of course, vaping, it's not completely. I mean, it's better than cigarettes, obviously, because you're not inhaling tar or carbon monoxide into your lungs, right? And I don't want to say that it's entirely risk-free, but some tests in England, for example, it says that it's 95% less harmful than cigarettes. So scientists out there are actually doing the studies and things. Doing the studies, you see. So that's the way it is.
I mean, like everything in this world has a risk to it. Like
of course,
you drive
of
a
course.
car, there's a risk. You're gonna crash.
It's not
Nothing is
risk-free.
100% safe.
Yeah. Correct.
What you're trying to do is just to minimize the risk as much as you can.
That's right. Correct.
Just out of curiosity, Tengku Asla, before this, before there was vaping, were you a smoker yourself?
I was a smoker. I wouldn't want to say I was a heavy smoker, but I was a smoker. But I'm also asthmatic, you see. So I had to kind of get rid of the cigarettes, in that way. So that's how I moved to vaping, because I didn't want to affect my lungs, my asthma actually. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you go back to that point of time where yes you were a smoker, not really a heavy smoker. Go back to the time, like how did you discover vaping, and how was it when you first tried vaping, and what made you believe in it till that you decided to switch to it 100%, and now you are the president of the the Vaping Consumer Association of Malaysia?
Well, I realized that when I was having a cigarette, it's more like a habit. You know what I mean? Like when you're sitting somewhere, you just need to puff something. So I kind of thought maybe if I could switch to vaping, it could kill my habit of smoking cigarettes, So it did slowly. It took me a long time to get rid of kick the habit, as you might say, So
now you're completely off cigarettes.
I don't smoke. I mean, I do use the IQOS once in a while. What I mean? Sometimes you miss the
guilty
smoke.
pleasure.
The smoke things, but I'm vaping more now, so better lah.
How has the industry grown in Malaysia from 2012 to 2021? I feel like it's a huge industry that a lot of people are trying to get into. You see a lot of these vaping stores popping up here and there and whatever not. SS15 used to be the hub where you get like a few vaping stalls at one.
We are like I said earlier, we are very big producers of juice. And now, we have about 20 companies involved doing vape. I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard of Nasty. Nasty is a very, very, very big company. We should be proud of companies like Nasty for taking Malaysia to the next level in terms of vaping to the world. So we should be proud of brands like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So for your role in the Vapers Consumers Association of Malaysia, how does one actually protect the consumers, the vaping consumers in Malaysia? Because for me, pardon my understanding about the vaping community. I mean, I used to try it once in a while, but I don't vape anymore. So it's for me, I just think that you go to a store, you buy a vaping. I'm not sure what they call it today, but you buy a vaping mod. Yeah. And then you just inhale it. So how does VCAM come into fruition for this?
Well, I think what we want to do, we obviously want to protect the consumers. We want to make sure that whatever products they get, they don't get counterfeited, because there's a lot of the black market in vaping is very, very big. There's a very big black market right now because you can get a lot of these things that are faked, you know what I mean? Fake products that, of course, you want to protect the consumers from, taking these counterfeit products, And we also, what's most important is we need to educate. Education about the vape and like what it can do to you and things like that. This is very important this is one of the reasons why VCAM was formed. We need to educate, we need to protect the consumers, and we also need to somehow get them involved in the policy making process, for this in our country. Yeah.
Because it's still new. Sorry, go ahead.
When you're talking about
Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Educate. When you're talking about educate, right? Like, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people out there have about vaping, or like some of the bigger things that you want to dismiss or something?
There's a lot of things like people like saying vaping is as harmful as smoking, which is, like I said earlier, it's not 100%. It's risk-free, right? But you're not smoking tar or carbon monoxide, okay, inside your lungs. So that's one. Another thing is like some people are saying secondhand vapor is harmful, but it's not. It's identified. Actually, in the UK, it says that there's no risk to vaping. The vape, the secondhand vape.
Secondhand vape.
Vapor, vapor.
Yeah.
So there are studies that are being made. So I tend to believe, these scientists, like in the UK, for example,
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of so in terms of because it's so new, I understand that your organization is basically coming up to have everybody involved when it comes to policy making with regards to the vaping community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, one side is to basically protect the consumers from buying counterfeit goods.
Yes,
but
correct.
In future, is there going to be any regulation or regulated measures in order to basically certify that all the juices that people buy are of a certain quality or of like for example, vaccines need to go through an FDA approval before it's being consumed by the consumer.
Yeah.
With regards to the juices that you buy, because to be honest, at one point in time when vaping first started, right, anybody can make juice.
Yes,
my
correct.
neighbor
Betul.
started making juice.
Yeah. Correct. There were
he's
kids.
like, hey, my one got more menthol. Yeah.
Yeah, there were kids making it at home. You know what I mean? So we need the government to come up with some regulations, some rulings to control these things, because we don't want people to take like juices that are not been approved by, I don't know, KKM, for example. And then we also don't want them to get like fake battery. They're like the fake. These batteries, they can, explode, for example.
Right.
What I mean? I think the government really needs to get into the regulation part, and they really need to get something good to protect everyone. Protect the manufacturers, protect the vape, the consumers and the suppliers. So I hope they get something done. But I heard that they're going through the right steps right now. So hopefully we can hear something in the near future for them to control. And plus, we don't want young kids to underage vapors
Vaping,
to vape. So that needs to be controlled. Yeah.
Right now, is it illegal for kids under 18 to vape?
Yes.
It is, right?
It is considered to be illegal to vape.
Even
right
if
now,
it's a non-tobacco based juice, or it's still
correct.
illegal.
Yes, correct. It's a gray area. That's all I can say. Right now.
Yeah, but last time, right, when vaping first started, I think was it Malaysia? No, it wasn't in Malaysia. Was it Malaysia where they started going around the vape stores and they started shutting them down? Was it Malaysia, or was it happening worldwide?
Malaysia, it was happening.
Yes.
Last couple of years, they were raiding. Of course, they were raiding, especially they were targeting liquids with nicotine, because nicotine. Because right now you can't sell anything with nicotine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why there were raids going on in Malaysia.
I'm actually quite baffled, because like, aren't cigarettes, don't they contain nicotine?
Yeah.
But cigarettes are approved. They're allowed, you see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your take on that? I need to ask you this. I mean, like, I ask every vapor.
I think that vape liquids with nicotine should be allowed. Why? Exactly my point. Why are you selling cigarettes but you cannot sell nicotine vapes? You know, it doesn't make sense.
Is it because, okay, I mean, again, rumors, I'm not going to say
Yeah.
these are real, but allegedly people say that, the reason why they're raiding all these things is because the cigarette industry is so big that if you basically have a game changer that comes in and basically ruins the industry, number one, it's gonna ruin the stakeholders in the cigarette industry. That's number one. Number two, because government have not found a way to tax these products yet.
It's both. It's both, actually.
I think
Yes,
taxing
of
the
course,
products
yeah.
is quite a big factor lah.
Yeah,
Of course
it's
they
a
would
big,
like to.
factor. Yeah,
It's a
correct.
huge. Let's not kid ourselves lah. Like
Yeah.
look at our cars, alcohol, everything is taxed heavily.
Yeah.
Correct.
And with reason also lah. You know, when you regulate something, they tax it. They take the money from tax to be able to regulate it.
Yes, that's right.
But
That's right.
okay, I gotta ask, Ryan, I gotta ask you, how long have you been vaping?
2-3 years.
Okay, why did you get into it? Okay, you're not a smoker.
No, I'm not a
okay?
smoker.
Yeah,
I've never smoked a cigarette in
So
my life.
what got you into it?
I like the flavor, the smell.
Oh.
So like for me, like no nicotine is not like nicotine was never the thing. I was never addicted to nicotine or anything. I just like the smell and I like the action of sucking and blowing. I don't know. It's something like it's like you're breathing in deep, but you can feel your breath. I don't know how to explain. You know, you get what I mean? I don't shisha. I don't smoke. You know.
Oh, you've never tried shisha?
No, I don't shisha.
Oh,
I don't
my
shisha.
God,
I don't smoke. So it's like
you're such
it's-
a young kid.
for me, it's like no, my friends do. Like I hang out with my friends, they shisha and everything. I just don't. And
Okay.
it was never about like nicotine or anything. To me, it was just I like the flavor lah. For me, number one is flavor lah. I have a very itchy mouth, so I like to like chew gum and stuff like that. So like the flavor having some flavor in my mouth feels nice. lah.
Okay,
You know?
then okay. When
Helps
you
me
first
helps me
bought-
curb my hunger a bit more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, then the next question I'd like to ask you is like, when you bought your first vape stick, is it called a vape stick now?
I don't know. Just call it vape. I just call it a
What's
vape.
it called, Tengku?
It's called a pod system.
A pod.
lah. Pod system.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pod
pod
system.
system vapes.
So when you first bought your first pod system, right?
Yeah.
Were you aware of the I won't say the consequences, but the risk factors or whatever they call it? Like, okay, when you got yourself into vaping, right? Do you kind of like outweigh like, okay, if I vape, I'm susceptible to this. Is there a risk? Did you do your homework before, or were you just like, oh, my friends are doing it, so I just got one for myself?
A little bit lah. Like I mean, of course I did a little bit. I didn't go like full research mode or anything. I was just like, okay, so this one I choose, which is the one that is like the least mafan one to use, and I just read up like what exactly it contains, what the type of juice is, but that's about it lah. Like, yeah, I didn't
Because,
go
okay.
full deep dive into the research.
Yeah. Okay. So I this is a story that I want to share. It might be quite embarrassing, but I think there was one time that I was traveling to work in to LA. This is my first time going to LA. Yeah. And then back then the vape culture, the vape trend kind of started. So I kind of bought myself a vape mod. So I don't know what. Okay. So I had to buy a international flight to go to Singapore and go out of the terminal to go into the other terminal to check in for my flight to LA. I don't know what it was the cheapest route lah, okay?
Yeah.
That's the only way for you to fly cheap, sorry. But so when I was going through the immigration and I went through my baggage collection, I had 4 police officers straight away immediately hold my arm. Okay, they didn't hold my arm lah. They just tapped me in the back and then they just ushered me. They didn't hold my arm. And they said, "Excuse me, sir, can I please scan your bag?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So they took my bag. They said, "Oh, even your hand carry." And then after that, they when they scanned my bag, they took my hand carry, and then they unzipped it and said, then they took out the mods,
Oh,
the vaping mods.
Yeah.
And they say, "Excuse me, sir, are you aware of the infringement of things that blah 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 blah? There's a fine of 20,000 Sing." See, I wasn't listening to him to what he was saying. All I thought in my mind was 20,000 Sing
Sing.
times 3. That's 60,000 ringgit. I was like, oh shit. So okay, I was brought. Then they confiscated my vape. All right.
Yeah.
Then I went to they brought me to a back room and it looks like a safe. They opened up a safe. And God, dude, the
Oh, the
safe was
vape
probably
inside.
about like 8 feet to 9 feet tall. opened it and I saw like, dude, that's a vape shop right there.
Yeah, correct.
All the vapes
Yeah.
they confiscated.
They had a safe, a safe, guys. It's not even like
Yeah.
a box or whatever. It's a safe with
Yeah.
all the different vape mods and juices all
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
And that was when I found that, okay, this was back in 2012, maybe 2011, 2012,
Yeah.
that vaping was illegal in Singapore.
Is it still illegal in Singapore?
It's still illegal in Singapore, but of course, since you saw all those products, the black market just gets bigger.
Just bigger.
You
I
know
did
what I
not
mean?
know vaping was illegal in
Yeah.
Singapore. So there's
Yeah.
two things we can do here that they cannot: chew gum and vape.
Yeah, correct.
It's so funny even that what happened, one of my friends in Singapore, I'm not going to name who,
Okay.
because they're quite famous, they were vaping in their balcony.
Yeah.
Their neighbors upstairs called the cops on them.
Oh, yeah. That's why I say kiasu, right, Singapore?
But smoking is legal there, right? Tobacco,
Smoking is legal,
like
yes.
smoking is legal in Singapore. Oh man,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that one
which
baffles
was,
me a bit.
Yeah, which was really surprising. And they actually spent the night in the lockup. And for me, I laughed at it. But then that's where, after that, I will have to agree that that sentiment kind of transcended across the borders to Malaysia.
Yes.
To have everybody talk about it, it's banned in Singapore.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's banned in Singapore, maybe there's a reason why they're banning it. And that's why they started to have this
Yes.
whole misconception of
Yeah.
vaping is bad and stuff like that.
But then
yeah.
again, Singapore bans sales of chewing gum. So like, if you use that sentiment, right? Like, oh, we shouldn't eat chewing gum here in Malaysia. You get what I mean?
I'm not
It's
sure
it's
about the
not
story.
apple to apple, lah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the story about chewing gum. The reason why they banned chewing gum is because one
Litter,
idiot
right?
decided. Yeah, what he did was he stuck the chewing gum on the wall of the MRT door, and
Yes,
the door
that's
got
right.
stuck.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And it halted the entire
Yeah.
line, and it caused
Yeah.
like the whole working industry to be delayed by like few hours.
Yeah.
So
I was
that's the
studying in
backstory.
Singapore when that happened, so I remember that quite clearly. Big news.
Asla, why did you do that? Why did you eat chewing gum in the MRT?
Why
did
chewing
you-
gum? can
Yeah,
put
why?
in front of me?
But okay, in your honest opinion, Asla, do you
Yeah.
think that? Okay, I don't want to. I mean, okay. So places like UK, New Zealand, Canada,
Yeah.
they apparently, I won't say in the medical sector. Okay, I don't want to condone what I'm going to say, but apparently vaping has been introduced as some sort of a way for people to really get out of the habit of smoking.
Yes.
Do
they
you
are.
think that Malaysia should go towards this direction, or is Malaysia already heading towards this direction?
I think that Malaysia should start moving towards that direction. But yes, it's going to take some time. Plus, now that they've approved non-nicotine vapes, that's already a step already. So it's just a matter of getting the nicotine ones to be approved. So, like in the UK, they're actually trying to get people to stop smoking. I believe if you go to a hospital, they can actually give you a free vape to try to make you stop. If I'm not mistaken, lah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
so,
progressive.
Yeah, I think they're doing their studies, and if they're going the right way, and if they're trying to make people stop smoking, why not promote this?
Okay.
You know, in a way.
Actually, I've seen like talking about like non-nicotine vapes. I've also seen, what am I saying? I've also seen like some products where it's like it's very herb based, so they use like rosemary and thyme, and it's supposed to kind of mimic like, you have those diffusers at home, like that kind of feeling. They market it like a therapeutic stress reliever
Oh,
kind
Yes.
of thing.
Yeah.
it's like those essential oils with
Yes.
thingy majig.
Like
Like,
Yeah.
in a vape pen form, like a tiny little
Yeah.
vape pen form.
oh, okay.
I think the word is nicotine replacement therapy. So we're talking about nicotine gums, and like of course vapes and other patches, for example. So there are a lot of things like this out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then okay, so like flavors wise, like oh man, I don't think I've tasted a lot of flavors.
Yeah.
But what about you, Teguh Asla? I mean, how many flavors to date have you actually?
I don't think you can count because there's all kinds of flavors out there.
Flavors
You've
can't
got,
even
like,
think of.
Coca-Cola, like you got beer. Man, sometimes I heard someone saying they got beer flavor. And then
What?
you have like your normal mangoes and stuff like that lah.
Grape is a very popular one.
Yeah.
They can do anything, any flavors actually. They can convert it to vape, you know.
But how? Okay, have you ever tried to brew your own juices to sell or stuff like that?
No, I have not got myself into that part, but I did try to start my own like brand.
Okay.
It's called Bao. So we started off okay, but then I had few issues with some partners, so it kind of failed. But that's one of the reasons why I got into it, because I was trying to help people to stop smoking lah. you know.
So
Yeah.
look at where that has led you to. You're the president now.
Yeah, you know, now I'm going the other way, trying to help the consumers with trying to push for legalization of vape. So hopefully-
Legalize. So okay, is vaping still okay? Is vaping legal in Malaysia?
Vaping is, well, officially it's not legal, but
Okay.
of course there's a gray area, and they will close a blind eye lah. Authorities will close a blind eye lah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, we're trying to hopefully we can get it legalized as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's quite funny because I mean, to what extent does one need to get one thing approved, or legalized? I'm just quite baffled because this has been happening in Malaysia. I mean, the vaping thing has
Yeah.
been around for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
How
correct.
long would it take for something like that to be regulated, or
Well, of course, a lot of recommendations usually come out from the health ministry.
right?
So that's kind of like has always been a stumbling block for a lot of these regulation parts. But I think we are almost there, because our new health minister, I think, is a bit more progressive.
Yeah.
You know, he's a little bit more progressive. So hopefully things will pass through. You know.
Oh.
So yeah.
So that means
Yeah.
you're saying that
It
you guys
has to go to parliament and things like that to be approved, basically
I
lah.
see.
Yeah.
So you guys actually have been working with the health ministry to explore lah.
Yes, we have. I've got a very good team in VCAM that's been really working hard to push for legalization. So hopefully we can get a big breakthrough as soon as possible.
But I would imagine it's not so simple lah. Like
Not easy.
I'm sure you guys and your team have to provide the research data
Yes.
and really supporting documents to
Yes,
make your
correct.
case.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct,
it's not
correct.
as easy as like, hey, hello, Mr. Minister.
Yeah.
approve
No, not
tak?"
easy at all. Not easy at all.
So what are some of the points or some of the arguments or some of the supporting facts that your team brings over to the health ministry in order to legalize vaping in this country?
I think a lot of things. I mean, it's just your, of course, tax is one of the things that will probably come up, and then you need to really tell them how safe it is compared to smoking cigarettes, and then basically trying to, we need to also not allow younger people who are underage to
Underage.
vape. I mean, of course, these kind of factors that we need to try and, how do you say, I don't want to say persuade, but trying to show that it's better than smoking cigarettes lah,
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, in your honest opinion, right? Okay, in your honest opinion,
Yeah.
let's talk about smoking for one. Why do people smoke?
I think it's just to relieve stress or whatever, you know what I mean? That's how that's why I smoke, because I thought it would help relieve stress a bit, but
But did it actually relieve stress?
Not
though?
really, not really. I don't think so. It just turned out to be like a habit for me, you know. So
It's always
like being
always
cool
more
with a
to have
cigarette, you know.
something between
Yeah.
It's
It's like a placebo, you know.
Yeah,
like thinking,
yeah,
it's gonna
you
release
know?
stress, but suddenly you're smoking one whole pack, like oh, bro,
Yeah,
then
it's
you
like, oh,
stress again,
damn.
like alamak, I smoked too much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny when you say placebo. I compare it to social media, like with your smartphones.
Okay.
You
okay.
always need something in your hands when you're standing
Yes,
there
yes.
awkward.
Yeah.
When you're standing there awkwardly and you have no one to talk to, or you have that barrier where you don't want to approach people, you turn to something that that becomes a habit in order
Yeah.
to kind of like be your coping mechanism.
Yes.
And
correct.
sometimes I feel that some people, with regards to smoke, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I have nothing against people who smoke. They want to do whatever they want to do to their. Look. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Although yes, I do have to agree it is unhealthy. But I have smoked before. I'm not gonna lie. When I was in college, it was sort of like a peer pressure kind of thing. My friends, you want to try? First time I tried it, I coughed like mad. I was like, "What the heck is this? You know, why would people even do such a thing?"
Then
Yeah.
And next thing you know, when you try menthol, like wow, quite cooling, it becomes a habit when you go clubbing or when you have a drink or
that's
when you go to the
right.
Mamak store.
That's right.
When you just have it between your fingers. Sometimes you don't find yourself even inhaling the entire cigarette.
Yeah.
It's just there, and then when it's done, you put it out, you light another one. And for people who go clubbing, it's also like it literally is like some people. There is that kind of person where they don't smoke at all. Okay, they don't smoke at all. But when it comes to clubbing,
Yeah.
they go drinking. They start smoking, which
Yeah.
I have friends
Yeah.
like that.
is
Social smoking.
Then I switched.
So
social smoking.
That's how it always starts.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. Yeah.
Social only lah. Next thing you know, hey, I'm buying one pack. You want or not?
Bang, bang.
Then I switched to a vaping, and not gonna lie, I felt less guilty because in my mind I was like, okay, I'm not smoking burnt stuff.
Yeah.
Tastes good. It's like shisha. They were okay. Back then there was. You see, that's where I kind of agree with the fact that you have a team that's going to the health ministry to
Yeah.
kind of educate them more about vaping.
Yeah.
They put warnings on cigarette packets saying that it is unhealthy.
Yes. Yeah.
But nobody realized that smoking shisha is a lot more unhealthy as compared to cigarettes.
Yes.
But there is no disclaimer for that if you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is like a little kind of like a by the side kind of thing that people go to the Mamak stall and get a whiff of
Yeah.
the flavored smoke, right?
Yeah. Correct.
So I feel I feel there's still a very, very loosely regulated area of when it comes to inhaling stuff
Yeah.
that kind of makes you feel good.
I
Yeah.
feel
That's just my opinion.
I feel
Okay.
it's a lot of it is down to awareness. It's just it's just straight up. It's just awareness. Because like when I was studying in the States, and they've been doing this non-smoking, like stop smoking campaign for years and years. Like I was very surprised. Like in my college, barely anyone smokes. Legit, you don't see
wow.
people smoking on the streets. You know, like you go to a college here, you go outside Sunway or Taylor's or whatever college on the street. There you see all the students and the lecturers because they're not supposed to smoke on campus, right? So they always smoke like right outside campus.
Yeah.
And in my school, I was really surprised to see like there was barely anyone smoking. And it's quite a shock to me because I thought, wow, in the States very very liberal and everything, but people really don't smoke and they actually look down. A lot of people or them actually look down on smoking over there.
Oh wow.
And I think it's
Okay.
just because of the awareness that they have in the States and how many years like the campaigns have been running to promote this awareness.
Right.
Yeah.
But Tengku Asla,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, have you seen this is just my observation. Have you seen in your circle of friends, have you seen a total drop in number of people smoking
Oh yeah, I have.
versus number of people vaping? Because to me, last time, when we used to go
Yeah.
around, we see a lot of people smoking
Yeah.
Mamaks, right?
Yep.
But these days, almost everyone has like a vape stick. Well, I mean, what's your thought on that?
I think a lot of my friends have moved to vaping or IQOS for that matter, and I think the awareness, like you said, Ryan, it's very important, and I think we need to really push to get people to quit lah. You know.
Yeah.
It's it's all about awareness, so it's very important for us to move with this, get this movement going. You know.
I remember
Yeah.
a long time ago here we had this campaign, right? #taknak.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
Like,
yes.
like you
Correct.
barely see it
Correct.
anymore, you know. I still remember
Correct.
lah, tak
Correct.
nak. Every
Correct.
time I was like, tak nak.
Correct.
Yeah.
But very hard lah kat Malaysia to get people to stop smoking. To
Yeah.
completely stop smoking. So I mean, we need to find another avenue to get people to vape, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, that's very interesting. I wanted to ask something, but it completely slipped my mind right now,
Oh,
Ryan.
sorry, my bad.
It was no. It's like it's something that I want. No.
Never mind. I can tell you guys the number one reason why I want people to stop smoking.
Why?
So that next time when I go to the club, my clothes won't smell like cigarette smoke.
Oh,
Because I have a pretty sensitive nose also. So I'm like, and I don't smoke, So I'm like, every time I go to club, my clothes come back, the bau busuk until, and then my car would smell because of my clothes. I'm like, this is the one thing, my one gripe with smokers is that
Hey, wait, but
smoking
okay, so
indoors
all
in the
these
club. I'm like, oh.
not only clubs, but they all impose the whole no smoking rule in the Mamak stores and restaurants, right?
Yeah, but
Yes,
from what I remember, it didn't apply to clubs, I think.
No,
Yeah,
clubs was,
I think
I'm
clubs
not so
and
sure.
bars you can smoke inside.
Still
if I'm
smoke.
mistaken.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
But is vaping also banned in the restaurants and stuff like that?
Yeah.
No,
Indoors
you
lah,
can't
for what I know.
smoke inside lah, but
Yeah,
you have to go
indoors.
outside lah. Yeah. Indoors tak boleh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh man, I remember. I know I wanted to ask that question, but it completely slipped my mind, and I thought it was a good question. But never mind. Maybe one day, if it comes back, I would ask. But oh man, now it bugs me. Right? It freaking bugs me.
It's like
that I
sitting in the
can't
back of your
remember-
mind, like, what is it I wanted to say?
Yeah,
Is it about smoking,
yeah.
about vaping, about juice, about policy? Come, let's try and jog your memory a little bit.
Okay. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. I finally remember.
Aha.
Now look.
Okay.
There were a lot of articles when we first started vaping, when the vape thing was a huge thing. Like there were articles of people saying that, hey, if you vape, right, you will get pneumonia, like water in your lungs,
I've heard of
because
this.
vape is technically liquid.
Yeah.
So what is okay? I mean, obviously these are. I'm not sure lah. You read it on anything is being released online, whether it's fake or not. I
Yeah.
mean, what's your take on that?
I think there's been a lot of articles that have come out that there's no proof. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I do believe that I know I shouldn't say this, but I do believe that the big tobacco companies are all releasing all kinds of like info to confuse you,
Okay.
So that's my personal view, but I think a lot of things that not been proven yet, like
I see.
pneumonia, for
And
example.
not only was there the fact that it causes pneumonia.
Yeah.
There was even people saying that if you vape too much, because some people tend to always set their settings to like super hot, right?
Yeah.
Some people said that they burn their own lungs.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, okay.
But of course,
it's not
no. But of course, but of course, in life, you have to do everything moderately, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
can't. You can't.
There's always a
overdo it.
limit.
Yeah. There's always a limit, and live life moderately. that's how I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
Like
Even-
no doubt vaping is like safer than smoking, but if you chain vape 24/7,
Yeah.
in the end also it's not. It's
Yeah.
in excess
Like-
already lah. Yeah.
Like I say, it's not 100% risk free, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You still gotta guna otak sikit lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, I'm with you. Like I feel that awareness is great. Again, we're not condoning vaping.
Yes.
We're not asking everyone to vape.
Yeah.
But I feel that if VCAM were to be able to release enough information for people to make their own judgment and their own decision to whether they want to pick up vaping, and then that's already a very big win for this community or this organization that you're running.
Yeah. Correct.
So like Tunku Asla, I think like I know we're asking too many questions and we're taking too much of your time. But before we end this, like, would you like to say anything, on behalf of VCAM, on behalf of the vaping community or the industry?
What I would like to say is I hope we can get this regulations legalization done because it will create a lot of jobs. It will get small companies, small SMEs to actually build the nation again in a sense, and then also we'll probably be able to get foreign direct FDIs coming into Malaysia, especially with the juices that we have here. We have the best juices in the world.
Wow.
Seriously.
Okay.
I mean, like everyone around the world has always been asking me about Malaysian juices.
Wow.
I mean, why
I never
don't we
knew that.
promote it? Why can't we promote it? And I seriously think the government needs to legalize it, and I think it will be something for the future for us to be proud of, as a nation.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Teku Azlaudin, for being a part of this show
Yeah.
today. You know what? Hey, if you're a smoker out there, hopefully vaping is just one step for you to help you kick the habit. Okay. And hopefully one day when Malaysia is on top of the line selling all those juices, you send some our way, lah. You know what I mean? Just to test for fun. But you know what? Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We'll speak to you next time.